And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Sunday edition of Rainy Nights, the segment of my YouTube channel where I interview other motor vloggers and motorcycle personalities. If you haven't been here before, I am Rainy Rider. I ride a 2019 BMW Grand America and a 2021 Harley Sportster. Feel free to give the channel a like and a subscribe. Tonight we have Andrew and Miranda. Say hello.
Hello, everyone.
So, where are you from and what do you ride?
I'll start. We're from Bad Axe, Michigan. That's where we currently live. And right now I ride a 1985 Honda Elite 250.
Currently, yes.
Currently. I do have a 1983 Honda Shadow 750 with some parts on back order. We're waiting to get her up and running currently. So I'm on the 250 Honda Elite.
But you said you're riding. So
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah. I ride like every day. And then if you,
I ride my 98 Honda Shadow that I've ridden down to Forgotten Angels twice now. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it again. I want to get a Goldwing here soon for long distancing, but I've definitely put some miles on her and fixed her on the side of the road.
It's well worth it. Yeah, Goldwing is a great choice, but we were just talking to everyone. So everyone that's not here, we were talking about. I just had to put my BMW back together, just to change the air filter. It took me an hour and a half to take all the plastics off. 5 minutes to change the filter, an hour and a half to put it back together. The Goldwing is pretty much the same way, but you get so much ride out of it, and you only have to. These filters are so big because they're hidden away. You can do them once every 10,000, 20,000 miles. They don't have to do them every oil change. So well worth it.
Right.
And you get to know your bike. So let's see who we have in the peanut gallery tonight. We got Journey of Jerry, as always, Josh Harris, and I'm sure Ashley Kitchen Ash is in there too somewhere. Brian the Biker is here. 9 Wheels on 2 Wheels. Hello, Matt. Always good to see Matt. If you don't know, tune into Matt's channel because he just literally puts a video out almost every other day, I think. And he had a Sunday edition. Sunday is always real funny. And who else do we have in here? Obviously, Andrew's here. JD and the Queens, and Rollo T-Bone, and Casey, and Sky's Limit. Everybody's popping in now. I can't keep up. Angie, my rides, and Motor Naughty. Hey, everybody. Welcome aboard. So, we'll start with, you got Miranda answered last time. Andrew, we'll start with you. How long have you been riding?
It's going to be 4 years. It'll be going on 4 years. But I grew up riding like four-wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff, so I've kind of always rid a little bit, but motorcycles going on 4 years.
Heck yeah. Miranda?
I would say I popped the cherry last summer, but I've definitely been riding a lot more this summer. So I would say I probably got a good 6 months under my belt. So very, very new beginner.
Okay.
But I'm going to be very honest with that. I'm not going to, 6 months riding on my own, but 2 up about the same amount of time.
But you've had the fever for a while because you've been making these campouts so I met you almost right at, not quite 2 years ago. So you've actually been, following this crowd for a while. So what made you decide to finally get on a motorcycle? To get on your own motorcycle?
Andrew. Okay, so being at Forgotten Angels and seeing a lot of women riders really inspired me to see how big the community is and to see women just find a love for 2 wheels and how badass it truly is. And as a unit, how badass it is. So it really inspires me, especially seeing small women ride big bikes. Like Andrew got me on Judy, his Shadow this year. So that was a big accomplishment for me. Even though I rode an 1100, his bike just feels taller, bigger. I'm not as comfortable on it, but once I did it, he couldn't get me back off. Then it was every day. Here I'm taking Judy. I was like, I gotta slow down. I'm just gonna take over the 250.
For me. Watching you ride.
I'm gonna move you into this frame a little better. That's good. Okay, so Andrew, what got you into bikes? What got you into street bikes?
I felt like I was ready. I don't know. There was a point in my life I was young and wild, and I'm glad I wasn't riding a motorcycle. I guess that's weird to say, but I feel like I would have been in a bit more trouble than I was as a teenager. So,
Oh yeah.
When I felt like I was ready to go out and obey the laws, as much as possible. And then I started watching a lot of YouTube videos about motorcycle riding and motorcycle camping too. And that's how I found Her Two Wheels. And then I found Josh. And then he was talking about Forgotten Angels and literally talked me into riding my motorcycle across the country without even really knowing who I was, which was pretty cool. And I've never done anything that amazing in my life. And
Well, I thought I knew who I was, and then I decided to go to Florida. So it was like, yeah. And so the first time I went to Florida was one of the longest trips I ever took. And you definitely find out a lot about yourself when you take a trip like that.
For sure.
And sometimes you're mildly surprised. So nothing wrong
Yes.
with that.
And I ride with a radio, so I've rode back and forth twice just with no radio, just me and the bike and the road, and I love it.
Right on.
Takes a special kind of person to long distance motorcycle, and you definitely have to have some grit on ya.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like reaching out. It's just kind of trying to find your limits, and you find out, just like you guys are coming from Michigan, you're coming further than I am, and you find out that you're capable of more than you think you are.
Yes.
It's crazy. It is. And it's crazy how far you'll push yourself when you think you've had your limit as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sometimes you hit that wall and go, yep, that's it.
Yeah, it's time to pull over.
Sometimes you have to, and it's good to know that limit too, though. It's okay to be stubborn sometimes, but you have to know that your limit as well.
And you don't always have to break your limit. Sometimes it's just enough to know it and back off a little bit. Like the last time from Forgotten Angels, I thought I was going to ride all the way home in one shot. I hit Atlanta, and all of a sudden the temperature dropped from 45 down to 35, literally from one side of Atlanta to the other. And I was like, this is it. There's ice on the road. I have to stop. I'm not afraid of driving on ice. However, driving on ice when it's dark, after you've already been on the road for 10 hours, it's time to stop.
Yes, that's how. Yeah, we caught it early in the morning coming out of Ohio this past year, going to Forgotten Angels. We hit some ice, and that was pretty scary.
Yeah, every bridge may be frozen or freezes before road sign. You puckered up just a little bit. You held on just a little bit tighter.
But we were heading south, so you're in your mind, you're thinking it should be getting warmer. The road should be
heading south into the mountains.
Yeah.
It should be getting warmer.
and Sunday into Atlanta is not even cool when it's 80 degrees, much less when it's 30 degrees. So.
Right. Yes.
Atlanta at 30 degrees, like you got to be the one to hit it on the motorcycle. Well, it was in March. This year was oddly colder than last March when we rode. By the time we hit Ohio, it was already warm. This time it didn't get warm until Georgia.
South Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah.
So
even the Georgia people were like, what the heck?
Yeah, I had to get up we got up at like 6 in the morning where I could bring the pillion to the airport, and it was like 45 degrees. It was stupid cold. So,
yeah, Florida was kind of chilly, which was surprising.
Yeah, that's okay. October's better. So.
Yeah.
So we've already talked about Miranda. We've already talked about. Yes, Gma. There's some of us have limits. So Gma is the ultimate. I've found my limits, and now I'm going to laugh at the rest of you person because yes, we're all trying to live to be Gma. We don't always have it. So Gma, she just posted a series of videos here a while back. She's just like, I'm going to drive a while, and like she took, I think, what was a 9-day trip, a 10-day trip. She just took off and left, and she's made of sterner stuff than a whole lot of us. So.
Yeah.
Good on you, Gma. Yeah. So we've already talked about what got, who inspires Miranda to ride. Andrew, what inspires you to ride?
I grew up skateboarding. I didn't do a lot of team sports. Not that I don't get along with other people or nothing like that, but I've always really been into like sports where it's just you and another object or. So with motorcycling, there's a lot of that, and you can share it with other people, just like other sports that are more personal sports that are, you get more of a, like a personal enlightenment out of it. I don't know how to word it right now. Just the way it makes me feel. Yeah, just being on my bike alone, riding, especially where I'm at. I love riding in the mountains, don't get me wrong, I really do. But just being up north, because I don't do a lot of city riding. I don't. I mean, I have, obviously, riding across the country a few times. But I really get a lot of straight roads, a lot of long, views out here. I can just get a peace of mind, and just enjoy some me time.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of motorcycles and working on them. I mean, I've done a lot to my bike. My bike sat for a really, really long time, so I had to replace a lot and go through her. And you build a relationship with your bike. And then I started getting more bikes, and she was really getting into motorcycling, which is really awesome. You can't beat that.
Yeah, and if you can share that feeling, just like you just said, if you can share it with somebody, it means so much more.
Right. Yes. And for the first time, this is random as heck, but we went camping this past weekend, and Miranda took me for a ride on the scooter we just purchased last week. And it was the first time she ever gave me a ride on anything, which felt really different, being behind my wife. But yeah, she's come a long way too. I'm really, really, really proud of her.
You sound proud. You sound very proud.
Thank you.
So now, if I forget to ask both of you the same question, sometimes it just jumps around a lot. So you have to remind me. So remember, this is your show, not mine. I'm just here to proctor it. Whatever you guys want to talk about, take off and run. Jima, they're in Michigan. They're in what was it? Bad Axe, Michigan? Is that what you said?
Bad Axe.
Yeah. Bad Axe. Yep.
That sounds bad.
I'm originally. Yeah. It's a lot of farmland up here.
Yes.
But I bought this house off my aunt. I got a good deal.
This is the Cornhole King from Facebook. If you are ever in Bad Axe, Michigan, and you want to have a beer and play a game of cornhole, we are here for you.
Miranda, are you going to ride down there? We are trying to.
Sean, Road Wizard, or Sean, we're possibly, it's kind of up in the air. Like we were saying with Rainy, the October camp out is always harder for us to make.
Yeah.
I would love to try to ride the 250 down, talk about a YouTube video.
Yes, that would be cool.
So, but I can't say one way or another. Just, I know it's getting close, but the October one is harder for us to make.
Yeah. If you guys got any questions, drop it down in the comments, and make sure we'll see them. Either put so Andrew's watching, I'm watching. Either put at Rainy Rider, or put at Andrew. Do you have a thing you're watching? Are you watching on hers? Or are you watching on yours?
He's on Andrew.
I'm watching on my YouTube. I'm a watcher. I don't make a lot of videos.
Okay, so
I don't think I've made any of this.
Drop your channel. That way, if somebody needs a question, it'll drop it to your channel, and it'll glow in orange if they put your name in there.
So what is it?
I believe mine is just my name, honestly.
Okay. And what is that? I don't even know y'all's last names.
So. Oh, Andrew Wilbur. It's
Andrew Wilbur.
ER,
that's right.
like the pig.
I had.
Yeah.
What's funny? So Miranda Wilbur showed up on my Instagram, and I was like, I don't know who that is. I know who Merly Bird is. I don't know who Miranda Wilbur is.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I was like, anyway. So now I know.
Yeah, we just got married. Well, we made it official in June.
Yeah, we government,
yeah,
legally married.
Your tax name.
Yeah.
It's Gma. It's Andrew Wilbur.
It is nice up here. Michigan is really nice in the summertime. I mean, if you like skiing and snowmobiling and stuff like that, it's good for winter and ice fishing, and it just gets cold fast. Like, it's already starting to get cold up here. Leaves are all changing and stuff falling. But it's summer to just end. Michigan's quick. She don't mess around.
Yeah, it's actually moved up quick on us. We've had a fake winter, and then it went back to summer, 100 degrees, and it went back to last week. It was like low 60s, and it hit 59. I think Friday morning on my way to work, it was 59. And for here, that early, that's crazy, because we still got another month before we leave for Forgotten Angels, and it's going to be probably in the 40s. So it'll be
right.
It'll kind of suck. And everybody's worried about global warming. I'm like, I'm freezing my ass off here. Yeah, I'm from Texas. I'm from southern Texas on the Gulf of Mexico. I am not used to cold, even though the Navy has put me in a lot of cold places. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I don't like it. Period. We're starting to drop. Let me go. There we go. We're still good. Yep. We had a little blip.
How is the weather where you're at?
It's actually nice today. I think it was like up to 85. It wasn't too bad to get out in the garage and finish the motorcycle, so wasn't too bad.
Right.
Gmail, yeah, just drop my name on there if you got any questions. Yeah, so Casey's in Michigan, so that's, let me see.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
It's in Ortonville?
Loose Juice isn't in tonight, but he's also up in Michigan, Indiana border.
I don't know who the Cornhole King is. I'm really not that good. My buddy's a lot better than me.
Yeah,
but I do post a couple lines.
I don't know nothing about cornhole, but I will come up and drink beer with y'all. That's promise.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Yeah, we're always down for a good time.
Yeah, we had Diesel stop by from he was at Forgotten Angels. He delivers boats, so he stopped by once.
He's the red stag
we had
king.
dinner with him. Yes. Yes, indeed.
It
was really cool.
If you guys that have never been to Forgotten Angels, if you go to Forgotten Angels and some really big guy comes out with 2-gallon jugs of Red Stag, that's Diesel. And the first thing he's going to say to you is not, "Hi, how you doing? Welcome to Forgotten Angels." He's going to go, "You want a sip of Red Stag? You want to hit my jug?" That's Diesel. So good old boy. I love being down there. I love thinking about the place. I love going. I just love it I love being down there at Forgotten Angels.
Oh man.
So much love and caring.
I'm pretty sure Diesel says hi to everybody.
He does. After he gives them a sip of Red Stag.
He makes sure. Yes, he makes sure that he says everybody has been greeted.
So speaking of, we'll get back on track. What is your favorite moto meetup? How many do you go to? A lot of bike nights, motorcycle campouts?
We don't. We've been to two events this summer. We have 3 sons, so it's kind of hard for us to get out.
To balance,
you know. Yeah. 3, 5, and 7. So their age is, they're at that age where they're kind of wild.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be wild their whole lives, but they're kids. So yeah, it's kind of hard for us to get out, but we do like to go to Beaters. Beaters Pub. They had a bike show there this summer that we went to.
Yeah, they did a first annual, so we figured, well, we haven't done a bike show yet, so our first bike show for Judy and their first annual, so it was good. And it's a cute little bar. Good beer, good wells, hot bartenders, lots of bikes.
Speaking of Diesel, so we had our Easter weekend. We had a camp out at the Land Between the Lakes in Tennessee, and he didn't bring any Red Stag, so we actually got to give him our whiskey that time.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We got to share. It was a good time. You could tell he was kind of defeated because he didn't bring any Red Stag, but I think Nothing at Random had brought a bottle of Red Stag, so he wasn't totally in the dark. But anyway, a bunch of good guys. So obviously your favorite meetup would be Forgotten Angels, right? Hint.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to anything or experienced anything like that, and I try to get everyone I know to come every year. And
me too.
That would have to be it. I mean,
Gma said she's leaving in, I guess what is it, 24? So she's leaving on the 10th, I think she said. She'll be there like 2 weeks before all the rest of us will be.
We were there a week early this year.
Yeah, when you go early and you help, it definitely feels like a more intimate experience. The whole thing is an intimate experience, but you get to feel it on a more intimate level, and maybe not people. See things.
Right.
Yeah, you connect more with them on a more personal level. It's not just
Right before a bunch of people get there, you get to slowly watch the whole thing grow and everybody come, and then it's very it's
It'll change your
Very
life
awesome.
for
Yeah.
sure.
The first year we didn't get there until Friday, like noon, and it was like a crash course in here's everybody, remember my name. And so the two after that, we got there Thursday, like right before noon. So we got to slowly meet people, got to meet the old people we knew, and try to remember their names, and then try to meet the new people. So it was a lot. It's so much fun. You know, everybody says, you know, you leave there with 10 more friends. I left there every time I go, I get 100 more friends. It's just crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a very tight knit
Yes.
community. So
Yeah. And it's cool meeting the first timers too. Like when
Yep.
looking back now that we've been, you know, twice now, it feels like we've been there more than that. But when you know when people show up that haven't been, it's cool to know what they're going through. Because my first time there was unbelievable. I had no idea really what to expect. It was
yep.
It was awesome. I left with a whole new group of people that
Family.
really meant a lot to me. I mean, you know, just to come together like that, which is awesome.
I tell everybody that my first time there was like going the scene from Willy Wonka where the kid goes into the TV and he's surrounded by the cowboys and Indians. Oh, there's Cowboy Bob and there's Indian Joe and there's blah blah blah. That was me, but it was like there's Shea Tree and there's Shay and you know there's Whiskey Chaser and there's Hershey Wheels, and it was just but they weren't like they were stars. It was just like they were just normal people. And now when I get there, it's like everybody comes to me as you know, it's just crazy how fast you can make friends with people there. And then obviously look at you here. We've stayed friends all this time, so too cool.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, it was. It took me a while to you know. It just didn't feel real, you know, doing something like that for the first time. Just getting on your motorcycle, an older motorcycle, almost what, 20,
25 years old, 26 years old.
Riding it all the way across, you know, up horizontally, vertically, but you know, still, it was insane.
Matt,
our first trip down. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Our first trip down, we ended up in Tennessee, and Andrew had to change our fuel pump. We actually met somebody who was checking up on us, and he rode from Tennessee to Florida with us from there. He just decided, he's like, well, I'll ride with you guys.
Heck yeah.
And he rode us down to the camp out. So you just never know the experience you'll have. In a million years, I never would have thought that'd be a story that would be a part of my life.
Yeah.
So Matt says it's not possible to not make friends when you're at Forgotten Angels, and that's true. People are gonna make friends with you whether you like it or not.
That's right.
And they'll drag you out of your shell.
Indeed, I felt very at home there.
Yes.
It was.
Yes, you
very
get
surreal.
Real comfortable, really quick. So.
Yes.
Enough about me. Let's talk about you. So. We'll start with Miranda, new rider. What is the stupidest thing you've ever done on a motorcycle?
Well, I try not to do stupid things on big motorcycles because I am so new. So we do have a mini bike that only turns left and has no brake. So it's go fast, turn left. Well, we do have crash. We have crash competitions on this small bike, so maybe that would be the stupidest thing I would say within a safe level. So it's only like a 3-horse, but no brake, all whiskey throttle. Yeah, you're going for a ride.
Okay.
So crash competition for sure.
I'm trying to think here because I've been through some things. I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
Yeah, I could come up with a different story every day.
You know, it's like, which one do you want to tell?
I would have to say the stupidest thing I've done is not turn my fuel on. Down in Tennessee when I was riding.
That doesn't count. Come on.
Okay.
Not user error.
We're all friends here. Share.
Passing dangerously is probably the stupidest thing I've done.
Okay.
Passing when I see a car coming, but I still go for it. You know, it's very risky. I've done that once or twice. That's probably the stupidest thing I've done.
Josh from JD the Queen says Jerry is what I want to be when I grow up. So me and Ash,
Yes.
this is his wife, will be like Jerry and Gma got married.
That's awesome.
That is nuts.
Yeah, I had a really good time with Jerry.
Jerry's
Yes.
the bomb. Jerry's the bomb.
He
He
is
is.
awesome.
Yeah, Jerry's the Grom King. Talk about kings. Jerry's the Grom King.
You're not kidding.
And the Twisted Tea King.
Yeah.
That Grom is like when he sits on it, it becomes a piece of him. They are one
does.
machine.
It's like a hemorrhoid with wheels.
Yes.
Okay, Andrew, first this time. What has been your scariest moment on a bike?
My scariest moment. I would say that hitting the ice was pretty scary.
That was
when the ass end of the bike was going all over the place. But what really scared me is when our last time down, we were in the mountains in Virginia. We came up to that gas station, and there was snow all over the ground, and we had just almost had an incident, and I was afraid that I was going to have to drive into more snow because when we were looking out in front of us, it was just snow-covered mountain.
We were at the peak of the mountaintop on the Kentucky-Virginia border, and everywhere around us was snow-capped, and we were scared that we were going to have to continue upward into elevation.
Yeah, I was like,
and we couldn't do it. We're up in the mountains. There's like a gas station or two here and there, but we have to come back down into the holler, and we just did not want to continue up into the caps. And
so that was pretty scary. That would probably be the scariest moment. I mean, you have your fair share of close calls, but that would have to be the scariest. I was like, man, do I really? Because I was scared for her too, because I know how dangerous it can really get. Because we had an incident happen just earlier that morning. Like I said, coming over a bridge. So that would have to be the scariest moment. I mean, I've had a few close calls with stupid drivers, but that's the game you kind of play when you get on there, especially with there being a lot more people on the road nowadays. So
yeah, it's a calculated risk.
But I've had, yes, that it is. And the close calls I've had, they could have been preventative because at the time I was not being as responsible as I should have been, so you can, take that in perspective too.
Okay, so Miranda, as a new rider, scariest thing that's ever happened? Where you've been actually driving?
Okay, so I drive to work. I ride to work every day, and there is a street right before I turn. My job is right off of the main road. Well, an intersection right before my road, we're talking, I don't know, maybe 100 yards away from is an intersection, and almost every day I have somebody almost pull out in front of me, and it scares me every single day. Now that's enough to scare me because that's all it takes. And being brand new, I would say so far, it's just that it happens on a daily at the same intersection. It is what gets me.
Yeah, that is very odd.
So throws me for a loop. I don't like it. I'm always very prepared. I'm ready for anything at this point.
As you can be.
As I can be, as I can be. So the intersection before my job.
We say stupid people conjugate, and it's pretty much, or congregate, and it's always the same spots that they do stupid things. And I don't know what it is about just certain intersections or certain pullouts. So you're always going to have the stupid people there. It doesn't have to be a bad intersection. It doesn't have to be a dangerous intersection. Just some people just get stupid, and it's like they pass this point, and all of a sudden their brain fries, and they just start doing stupid shit. So
yeah.
Where I used to work, there was a Electrolux plant, and the people that would pull out, instead of waiting, there was a cop there directing traffic, and instead of waiting for him to wave him in, they would shoot by him out of the parking lot and try to make a left. And it was always the same people. 3 days in a row, it was the same car nearly hit me all 3 days. Just coming out at the same time. And I'm like, I'm going to start leaving 5 minutes later because this is just crazy. And I would just stay a little longer, clean up a little better, and then I'd leave, and then I had no problems at all. It's insane. It's like a time warp.
Yeah. It almost feels like deja vu. I'm like, this is not going to happen again today.
It's really strange on that road, too. You can see it's not like there's things blocking.
Right. Right. He knows the intersection I'm talking about. It's just, and it's wide open. There's nothing blocking the view. You can see around other vehicles. It's a main road. So it just, it's enough to get me a little bit.
Right on. So back to Andrew. What has been your favorite part of riding?
Meeting people. The people I meet on my motorcycle with Miranda is incredible. On the road, oh man, it's awesome. Motorcycling has changed my life in such a positive way. Meeting people, yes, that has got to be. I mean, all kinds of people. People that used to ride, people that still ride, old people, young people, from all over the country too. Like just traveling from Florida and back, and we've taken different ways each time. So I'm meeting all different types of people. It was like taking 2 different trips, but to the same place. It was so awesome. Yeah. Actually, it was like taking 4 because we took
4 different ways every time.
Yeah, it was incredible. And people are always like, "You guys are crazy! You guys are crazy!" You know how cold it is. Like,
there's a meme that's like the 5 people you meet when you're going on long trips on a motorcycle, and one of them is the old man that'll walk up to you and go, "I used to ride," and the other one is a guy that walks up and goes, "Hey, nice bike. What is it?" The other one is a guy that goes, "I want to ride a bike one day," and the other guy is a guy that walk up to you and go, "You're nuts. You're absolutely nuts." Yeah. And then there's one more, and I can't remember which one it is, but it's probably the one that says, "Oh, I had a boyfriend that got killed on a motorcycle," or something. Yeah, that's the 5th one. But it's like you always meet the same people, different faces, same person.
Mm-hmm.
You're always going to at least 4 of those are awesome people to talk to. And if I stop for gas, I might as well just stay and wait 30 minutes because I'm going to be talking to somebody for at least 20 minutes of my 10 minutes of gassing and getting a drink and 20 minutes of talking to somebody about my motorcycle. And I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it to pieces. What are they saying in the comments? Nope, they're having their own little fun in the comments. So I guess we'll let them talk. So Miranda, same question.
Read me the question one more time.
What has been your favorite part? I know we're getting all over the place. A bunch of squirrels. What has been your favorite part of motorcycle riding?
My favorite part of motorcycle riding. I guess feeling like I can't do something and finding out I can. Being proud of myself. Being proud of my husband, especially. Living an experience with him and just him making me proud. Sorry, we're in the garage.
Yep.
Just doing things I didn't ever think that we could accomplish, and then seeing a different side of that makes me very proud of him.
Very cool. Sorry.
No problem. So I guess my favorite part would be in the inspiration. The inspiration.
Okay. Yep. Don't be sorry about kids, dogs, or cats during an interview because it's part of your life. I mean, I'm catching you guys in the middle of your life, so it's that your life is happening. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It's perfectly fine. We've all got kids, dogs, and cats, so we all understand. So here we are into September. What are your plans for the rest of the year, motorcycle-wise? I know you might not be able to make it to FA, but
we really want to. That's our main focus right now. I'm trying to figure out a way to make that work because it's really hard with the kids, and then
it's a lot of factors that come into play.
Yeah, it's right before winter time, and we tend to hunker down and focus more on like getting ready for winter time. Sitting. There's a lot of
maintenance. We got some maintenance we got to do.
Working on the house, stuff like that. We just got this new Honda Elite. I need to tear that down. That's why October is such a hard one because there's always so much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's starting to end of the season for us. Yeah. In March is like the beginning of season. Okay, let's get her prepped for the whole season. We're going, Yep. So in October is kind of like wind down, and then at the end of the year, and have just they're being an adult. It's tough sometimes to.
Life is beautiful
to make it down.
Sometimes it gets in the way of everything else you're trying to do.
You're not kidding.
Yeah. It happens. It happens. No, no sweat. Don't worry about it. I guess that was the question for both of you. So That's the answer.
Yeah. I really want to ride. I'm thinking about. I want to get something I can ride in the wintertime, but I have a feeling it's going to be a warmer winter with a lot more snow
Yep.
this year. So, that's why we want to move south eventually, somewhere where we can both ride all year round. But moving that far, moving climate change or in different climates is
It's a big
it's not
step.
all that easy.
It's a big step.
It is.
I love living where I live because usually there's only like a week out of the winter that I can't ride. So altogether,
Right.
probably we get hit in northern Mississippi 1 week of snow and ice, and that's usually like toward the beginning of the week or the end of the week. So there's 4 days straight that I can't ride. Other than that, it's pick and choose. I might miss 10 days out of the rest of the year that I can't ride, but other than that, it's all good riding weather. If you don't mind riding in the rain, which
Right.
I obviously don't.
Right.
My name says so.
Right.
All right, so we'll start with Andrew again on this one because he's been riding the longest. If someone came to you and said, "I just finished my MSF course, I'm done riding this 250. I want to get to something bigger that I can ride for at least 5 more years. What bike should I get?" What would you tell them?
5 years. My first bike was a Honda Shadow, and I got an 1100. And people told me that it's you're gonna want something bigger. It's not gonna be enough bike for you for a long period of time. But
1100.
good. Yeah, it's weird that
That's a great bike. I had a Shadow Saber. I had it for probably 5 or 6 years, and I rode the shit out of that bike, and it was a great bike. It's stupid.
Yeah,
bike.
mine. They are. Yeah, I mean, after a certain point, you're going. There's no reason to go that fast. It gets up and goes. It's, if you want more torque or you want to be able to do wheelies, I mean, you're not going to be doing wheelies down the street on this bike, obviously, and stuff. There's different bikes for that. I would probably ask them what kind of style of riding do they plan on getting into. I'm not like a stunt sport rider kind of guy. I don't need like a super fast bike. I like big and comfortable. When it's small and light, I feel like it's a little bit more dangerous to get more you can get carried away a little bit quicker.
It'll get away from you quicker, yeah.
I've only ridden 2 Harleys my entire life. They are very vibrating. They're very shaky.
They're vibrating, yeah.
Yeah, I love my Honda Shadow. Everyone I talk to, I try to, if you're gonna buy a bike and you don't, I think that's a great bike to start on.
It's very reliable too.
Yes.
Change the oil,
if they're coming,
put air in it.
Yeah.
It's not even hard on tires, but it's not a huge touring bike, so it doesn't eat up tires, and it's not an off-road bike, so it doesn't eat up tires, and you change oil, put gas in it. That's it.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I mean, and it's a good bike. I mean, it's got power. It just depends on what you're looking for. I thought I wanted something bigger, and then I got on Judy and went for a ride. And it's like, it's exactly what you need. Why do that to myself?
Yeah.
More power, more money. I'm not there yet. All my kids, my boys to get a little bit older. Maybe we can, build something together. That would be really cool.
Yeah,
really into that.
Cool. Miranda, same question.
I kind of would have to agree with him. If you're going to say 5 years, if you're a beginner rider and we're looking to upgrade, I'd probably say a 750. But if you're looking for a long-term bike, you're probably going to want to move up into an 1100. And I also agree with him. I would ask, what do you plan on doing? Are you just cruising? Is this a work bike? Are you riding long distance? Are you trying to pop wheelies or a bike show? Right. What are your intentions, or how are you going to ride? And then that would kind of lead you into more of what kind of style of a bike they would want. But I kind of would agree with him. A 5-year bike, I would say probably an 1100 as opposed to a 750.
Because like I said, I'm almost riding 4 years. I was at that point where that thought had crossed my mind, because I was like, no, I'm like, this is enough. And I thought, maybe maybe you do want something a little bit, with a little bit more torque, a little bit more power, off the line. But
I got a Mustang seat for mine. It was
correct.
stupid comfortable, and I rode it. Like I said, I rode it for a long time. And
Yeah.
if I didn't have limited space, I'd still have that bike because I sold that bike probably 8 years ago, and if I had my way,
Wow.
I would have kept it. Now I have more room. I have a bigger garage, but it's gone. I don't have it. So regrets, no regrets.
And I've heard that quite a bit too. People are like, "Oh man, you got the Honda shit." I'm like, they're like, "That was my first bike," or "I used to have one of those," and they regret getting rid of it because they are such a good, reliable bike and they're comfortable.
Well, it was an all-around bike too. It was perfect. It was perfect for short ride, city riding. It was good for long distance rides. Um, yeah, it's a great all-around bike. It doesn't excel at anything, but it is good at everything it does. So
there you go.
oh, so I'll ask Miranda this one first. If you could go anywhere on a motorcycle today, starting from anywhere, going anywhere, where would it be?
Okay, there is a trip I do want to make. My grandma always used to say my family was from the hills of West Virginia. I was like, no, we can't. Well, then I looked into it and it was pretty much true. So if I could go anywhere right now, hop on a motorcycle, would go find that little rinky dink town in West Virginia up in those hills, go and visit some of my long lost family.
Excellent. Do some hill riding. And which bike would you take?
Um, Once my bike was up and going, I would love to take my 83.
That would be.
Yeah.
Right on. Andrew, same question.
I want to go out west because I've never been out there. Like maybe like the Grand Canyon or like Devil's Tower or something like that would be really cool. Or somewhere in Colorado.
The Gardens of the Gods out west. I want to hit 40,000 elevation.
And I want to do it on a Goldwing because they're a lot more comfortable, and I really, really
and do it.
I'm with him.
Yeah, do it on a bike with EFI because you don't have to adjust your carbs.
Right.
It'll do it for you. So a little tidbit there. Gma probably knows how to swap her jets out and rejet it for air and gas, but for us people who are on the move and on the fly, yeah, fuel injection's a big help when you're doing a lot of hill traveling and elevation changes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gmail says anybody that goes and visits her gets free food. So we're all going to Gmail's. Gmail, I'm telling you, we're all going to show up one day. We're all going to show up at your doorstep and beg for food. It's going to happen. Hope you got a big yard.
Good choice. I am a Honda man. It's all I've really rode since I've started riding. It's all that's our garage is full of. It's just Hondas, and I'm not against any other brands. I don't have anything bad to say about any other brand because I've never really experienced any other brand to my own, other than my wife's Yamaha that she started on. She had a V-Star, but I broke a lifter or a rocker arm in there. A rocker arm ended up going in it. So, and we didn't have that bike very long. That kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. But I mean, according to Google, Yamaha is like #1 for reliability, but I didn't see it.
I see.
And I'm not saying they're bad.
I've had a few Hondas, and they've all been very good, reliable. Change oil, put gas in them, change plugs every once in a while, and they run forever.
Yeah, and all mine are old. I have older Hondas and
older than us.
Yeah.
I mean,
my bike I personally pulled out of its grave because it was just sitting. If she would have never sold it to me, who knows what would have ever happened? And I had to revive that, but all I did was put new fluids in it, clean the tank, and it started right up.
Yeah, and sometimes I think you're safer with the older bikes, especially the metrics, because they made them to last. Now they're making them as like I think they expect people to have disposable income. So used to, everybody had one bike, and that bike had to do everything. Now you've got a bike for cruising, you got a bike for ADV riding, you got a bike for getting off road. Back in the 70s and 80s, even back in the 60s, you got one bike. That was it. And it had to be able to do everything. And it had to be reliable. It had to be good on the highway, and it had to be good in the hills. So I think they made better bikes back there, honestly. Except for AMF. AMF just screwed everything up. So anyway, all right. So
You have some good questions, I have to say.
I try hard. I try hard. I do. So Andrew, I kind of know this question, but have you inspired anyone to ride or wrench on their own bikes? Miranda.
Probably
other than
only
Miranda.
her as of right now. My kids, they have like this. There's an electric dirt bike here. I have we have the mini bike. My sons really like to wrench on stuff right behind me if they see me working on something. I really don't get out too much. That's the unfortunate thing. A lot of my friends, because I grew up quite a few miles away from where we live now, so a lot of my friends that I've had growing up, that they have their own hobbies and stuff too, but I try to get them into it so that we this way it's easier to see each other. Motorcycles are more reliable, cheaper on gas, all the way around. But one friend, but he hasn't bought a bike yet. But it's up here it's different. People that live up here, you only get to ride. So if you want to ride in warmer weather, you have to wait. So it's kind of like right before winter. Should I buy a bike now or wait till spring? So I let him ride my bike. He got really excited about it. And was probably about to buy a bike, but then he thought about it and was like, "Hey, the winter's coming. I need a better vehicle." So he's gonna do that first, and then hopefully he'll be riding next summer. Then I'll have more. I'll have a better answer
Riding
to that
buddies.
question.
Yeah.
But yes. Miranda wants to work on her bike because we're still waiting on a part in the mail for her 83 Shadow. Because we're not getting spark in the rear cylinder, so
pulse generator.
That's what it is, and she wants to do that, so I'm going to help her do that.
Heck yeah,
that'll be fun.
YouTube is your friend.
Yes,
for sure. And I want to be able to say, like you guys, I want to be able to understand what's happening and know what's going on. Because if I do want to go somewhere solo, I need to understand my bike. So the best way to do that is to fix it.
Yep. And it's easier to fix it in your garage than it is to fix it on the road. Because next time it happens, and I tell everybody this.
Yes.
The first time you take your bike, do anything new to it, it's always scary. Always. Because, I've changed oil in mine. I've changed the tires on it. I've changed, the final drive. But I've never actually ripped into any of the skins. So today, changing the air filter, crazy enough, is the first time I've actually took all the skins off the bike and actually got into the guts of it. And now but I would rather have done it. I know, but I'd rather do it in my garage the first time because then I want to get it out of the road and then decide I just ate a bird and my air filter's full of bird guts. Now I have to take it apart in the middle of the road and do it, and I have no clue what I'm doing. So yeah, it's. And that's anything, my bike has a transmission plug up inside the main oil pan. So you got to take the main oil drain pan plug out, and up inside that is another smaller drain plug. And everyone online was telling me, you can't do this. You can't do this in your home. You'll drop it. You'll get inside the oil pan. It'll cost $1,000 to get the oil pan dropped. And I'm like, well, if I do it, I know where coat hangers are. I'm going to get it out. And it was the easiest thing. And then I posted it online. Somebody told me I faked it. I really didn't do it myself. And then I made another video. And the same thing with resetting my ECU. They said you have to have this $500 system from BMW and then buy a program that's another $125 to reset your ECU. I bought an ECU, an MX, OBD MX offline for like $30. The program from BMW was $8 for it. Downloaded it. Did everything myself. And people said I faked it. I really didn't do it because there's no way. You have to have their 911 system. That's what they call it. They call it like the GS 911. And I didn't need it. And I had to do it twice and show people this is how you do it. And then I had people asking me, how do you get this? Where do you get this from? Where's this program? So it is still one of my most watched videos on how to reset your service timer on your BMW. Because nobody believed you could do it. And now I've got to where I can do it in like 2 minutes. Hook it up, open it with my phone, reset it, and I'm on my way. Crazy enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. Moral of the story is, yes, Miranda, do it yourself. Don't fear it. And next time you do it, it's cake. You can probably tell someone else how to do it. But make a video. Because people will tell you can't do it yourself. Make a video, put it on YouTube, and profit from it. Even though I don't profit from any of these videos, but It helps me meet people. That's what it does. It opens the world up for me.
Yeah.
And if it helps someone
Yep.
else,
And it'll
Somebody
help
else who
people.
doesn't know how to do it or wants to learn, and there isn't something out there, then yeah.
Yep. So where were we? Gosh, see, we're like squirrels. I totally get off track, and I don't know where I'm at. And okay, here's one for. We'll start with Miranda this time. If you could tell a new writer one thing that you had to learn the hard way, what would it be?
One thing I had to learn the hard way. Oh, well, what do you think?
What do I think? You melted your
think
boot
on it.
Yeah, keep your feet off the exhaust. As a rider though, one thing I had to learn the hard way. Gee, that one I don't know yet. I can't say something's like stuck out to me that I've had to learn the hard way yet. Knock on wood.
I think sometimes that's a good thing living with another person who rides is you get to watch those things firsthand. You don't have to experience them yourself.
Yeah.
What about you, Andrew?
Always bring a jacket. That's what I had to learn.
Oh, that's a good one.
I've been told a few times. I'm like, man, you said you were going to bring the jacket, and then you tell yourself you'd be all right. No, you always.
You're never all right. You're never all right.
That's right. That's right. That would have to be it.
Okay.
That's like a number one.
That's a good one.
I've had a few cold rides where I'm like, man, you told yourself you were going to bring it, and then I talked myself right out of it.
Okay. I always pack a rain jacket. I might not always pack the pants, but I always have a rain jacket.
Right.
Because you never know. So, Andrew, first, what is one thing people may not know about you?
I've been pretty normal. One thing they might not know about me. That's a hard one. I've been pretty. One thing they might not know about me. I like to.
He's the cornhole king of the film of Michigan. That's something you might not know about him. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's
yeah. So that's because it's a very open or a very wide. There's a wide range of things that people might, or things that they might not know. Maybe that I haven't been riding that long. Maybe I come off as someone who, because I'm pretty, savvy with. I'm pretty mechanical. I can fix things. That's kind of a weird answer.
I'll work with it.
Burgers.
It's some people who consider themselves new riders. You look at them, and let's look at Shay Lisi. She really hadn't been riding. She's rode like scooters for a long time, but she hasn't been riding big bikes very long at all. But you look at her, and you would think she's ridden forever, because she's so competent. And then once in a while, you'll see her drop a big bike, and she'll be like, "Yeah, because I've only been riding big bikes for a few years." And they have to remind yourself, "Oh yeah, that's right." But because she's you can take someone who's ridden 10 years, but if they're a summer rider or a weekend rider, altogether they might not have, but a couple hundred hours of riding. Where you take somebody that's a new rider that rides new every day, they may have, in 2 years, a couple thousand hours of riding because they just ride all the time.
Right.
So.
Right. I try to ride as much as I can.
He's hard on himself. He was just riding like yesterday.
I guess I do get to ride. I do ride a bit more than you.
Because I told him, I'm like, we're going to do this. And he's like, but I haven't been. I'm like, what are you talking about? You were just riding yesterday. I'm like, we just haven't gone long distance riding. We've been riding around, through the summer. Just nothing to the extreme like Florida.
Yeah.
We did go to Tennessee. You rode home from Tennessee.
That's true. I did do that.
In April.
Well, maybe I just want to ride more.
Ride more.
It's not enough.
I thoroughly approve that. Yeah. Gma says it's listening to relatively new people talk about things is so fun because it's weird the things you forget after you've been writing for. So I've been writing since I was probably 12. So going on, holy crap, am I that old? 41 years I've been writing.
Wow.
So you
Wow.
forget about the things you knew then and they were so hard for you that you're like, oh my god, this is what I need to know. Now it's secondhand. I mean, now it's just like second nature to do these things, to lean. Like somebody was talking here, and this was probably a couple years ago. They were talking about leaning the bike and how to, I used to tell people I had a '99 RT, and I'd say it's like intuitive because all I have to do is think about it and the bike turns itself. Well, what I was really doing without even thinking about it was sliding my butt, and I was changing the balance of the bike. But I did it without even thinking about it. And then once I put a first seat on the bike, I started doing it, and then I realized I wasn't sliding as easy as I used to. And I was like, oh, I move when I steer. And I didn't even realize I was doing it because I've done it for so long, I forgot I was actually doing it. But once I put that first seat on and there was friction and I wasn't doing it easily, I realized that I was doing it. Crazy enough.
Right. Yeah, that's how it happens. You get so used to it. Yeah.
Miranda, same question. What's one thing there's something I didn't know about you until I happened upon your Instagram one day and I saw you getting ready for something that you do in your professional life, and I went, wow.
Yeah, of course. That's like my go-to thing. I don't know if a lot of people do. I'm not big on social media too much. I do have a few YouTube videos, and I Instagram a little bit, Facebook a little bit. I work here in Bad Axe as a on-air personality and news reporter for our local radio station. Yeah,
which is very cool.
Yeah, it's very different.
It's definitely something in 2023 you don't hear about. Usually, you're a digital creator or or so in the radio, not a dying profession, but definitely not one that is as prominent as it used to be. So yeah, I'm a radio DJ.
Yeah, I watched the clip of you getting ready going to go into a commercial, and I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, she's good at this. I need to get better. Yes.
Thank you.
Rolled right into it.
I am.
And that's when I decided I needed to interview you. So.
Well, thank you. That's what I said. I was like, man, it's surprising that I'm nervous because I do a live radio show on our FM station from 2 to 7. So I'm taking phone calls. I'm talking live. I'm interacting to a wall basically, but I'm talking to an audience. And it definitely takes a special kind of person to do a YouTube channel or to do a show like that, to be able to keep rolling or hit cues and know when to. It's not made for everybody.
Yeah, it changes the way you react with everything, because I'll be at work now and I'll be doing something and I'll start narrating what I'm doing. Like because I'm a mechanic and electrician in real life, and I'll start narrating what I'm doing. And people are like, "Oh my God, you're so good at teaching." No, I'm narrating. I'm making a YouTube video in my head. This is what I do.
I look like a goofball.
I agree with you. If you are somebody who talks to yourself frequently or likes to narrate what you do throughout your day, you might be good for radio.
Really?
Yeah. I talk to myself quite frequently. And yes, we did give away the 1989 Corvette up in Harbor Beach. That's cool. Thanks. That's so cool that we. And Josh Harris, JD and the Queens.
Oh, right on.
Yep. We gave it to somebody. Actually, somebody out of Harbor Beach won it, which is a little town up here in the Thumb, right on Lake Huron.
Too cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah,
it's different. I never would have thought I'd be on the radio.
You need to do YouTube, because it is so much like it is. It's like broadcasting, because you literally the hardest part for me in YouTube was to talk with no one there. And now I've just gotten so good at it. Yeah, well, you do it for a living, so yeah, you would be so good at YouTube because you've already conquered that. Talking to an empty wall.
Yeah.
And you have a nice camera.
Too good.
Yep, so thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
We're gonna drop all your socials at the end to make sure that you get all your socials done, because you're gonna get subscribers right off the bat. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh well, thanks. That's awesome. I miss a lot of you guys too. I mean, a lot of you guys we've seen down in March. So like
Yeah.
Sean, Jerry,
Josh said he parked next to you. He said he
Yeah.
remembered seeing. Yeah, he remembered your bike when you said it was the Shadow, the '83. So yep, too much, too good.
This year was a lot different for me. Last year I went and got really drunk and seen a lot of blurry faces and remembered no names. But this year I made it a point to I really wanted to connect and make deeper connections with people at Forgotten Angels this year.
I wanted to help out.
It is an acquired thing to learn how to drink, but not get too drunk and still be able to function all day long.
Yes.
It's called being old, and I'm good at it. I'm a functional drunk. It takes a lot of fortitude.
Yes.
So, all right, Andrew, what bike would you want to ride just once, knowing you could never afford it or ride it again? And when I say that, I mean like for me, it would be the Boss Hoss with the 454, because riding it once is probably all I could do. Because if I got on it again, it would probably kill me. Boss Hoss is a motorcycle that weighs about 3,000 pounds and has a 454 Corvette engine in it. And I say I'd ride it once because the second time I got on it, I'd go, okay, I can do it faster. I can do it better. I can lean more. And that's when I would kill myself. So for you, what bike would that be?
You kind of broke up. Well, what bike? If I could ride any bike, what bike would it be?
Any bike, but just ride it once. You can only ride it once.
I can only ride it once. It would have to be like the bike from Easy Rider.
Captain America?
Yes. That would be me.
That's the third time I've heard that answer.
Yeah? Well, that's a pretty legendary bike. I mean, I know, everybody kind of knows, but it would be cool. And if I could only ride it one time, then yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, Miranda.
I would have to say I would be satisfied. Well, a dream bike of mine would have to be like a 1968 Honda CB-F series, like the 1000. Like, I would take that as fast and as hard as I could.
Okay. Fast and hard.
No just comments. One time.
No comments. All right. So, flip side of that question. If you could buy any bike right now, but you had to own it for the rest of your life, you wouldn't have to ride it for the rest of your life. That's the bike you would have. What would it be?
Okay.
2001 Honda Shadow 750 for me. That's an easy beginner bike. It's a chick bike. I can ride it if I want to. I don't have to. But I'm the Honda Shadow person. Like, yeah, it's a good beginner bike. It's something I could pass to my kids if I had to own it forever. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with a 2001 Honda Shadow 750.
Sounds good.
I just want one to have one. I want like an early 90s Honda CBR 1000. Like before the RR.
Good pick.
Something like that. I can't say super old because I like the 80s era of vehicles and motorcycles, and early 90s, because a lot of all my vehicles, my truck's a 91, her truck's a 93, my bike's a 98, her bike's an 83. Everything's older in that era. Right? Not that it's old.
Things were built better. Yeah, things were built better then.
That's right.
If you took care of them, a lot of people still have them. Yeah.
And the color scheme, I like the red, white, and blue. CBR 1000. I think it's got 91 or 92. But yeah, that would be and it's affordable.
Yep, good answer. You can still get those. Yeah, you can find them in
all day.
Barns and garages, put back with tarps over them. So
yeah,
very doable. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments. We've got a couple of questions left, so throw your questions in the comments now. All right. So who do we leave off with? Miranda. What is the one thing you will never take a road trip without?
What is one thing I would never take a road trip without? An extra pair of shoes.
Yeah, you're close to mine. Mine are socks. Mine would be socks. Always make sure you got some extra because your feet are gonna get wet. It's always even if you're gonna put your wet boots back on, at least you can relax with a nice pair of dry socks at the end of the night, you know.
Yep. I agree. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yep. Pack for a trip. Take an extra pair of pants, a couple extra shirts, and as many underwear and socks as you need for the trip because everything else is recyclable, except your underwear and your socks.
Yeah, we do the wear it, toss it, because it just makes there's no point in keeping the dirty. We can always buy more socks, and dirty laundry accumulates pretty quickly when you're on the road if you're not washing it. So if we can just get rid of them stinky, dirty socks, we've had on for the past 3 days, let's just toss those out.
Yeah, somebody once said, I can't remember whose YouTube it was, but they said when you're on a motorcycle trip, there's clothes you wear on the way down, there's clothes you wear while you're there, and there's clothes you wear on the way back. They said wear the cheapest clothes you're about to throw away on the way down when you get there. Throw them away. Wear your nice clothes while you're there, and on the way back, you wear the other cheap clothes, and you can throw them away on the way home too.
Yep.
And just keep the nice ones.
Indeed, our Brad starts just, why aren't we wearing those?
So we're the Rainy Rider tonight.
I'm wearing my.
Okay.
If you want to be happy for a day, drink. For a year, marry. For a lifetime, ride a BMW.
That's what's up.
I'm on my fourth one, and I love them all.
Very nice.
All right. Ashley wants to know if you have any other hobbies besides riding.
Like I said, with my kids, I skateboard. I've skateboarded. I hunt. I hunt and fish. Hunting season's just started, so getting ready to go out and shoot a deer with my bow. And I actually just got a new gun today. Miranda, I got her a 20 gauge, so we're going to be going gun hunting come November. I believe that's when it starts, November 16th or something like that. I like to hunt and fish. We skateboard. I like riding like dirt bikes and four wheelers and stuff. That's outdoor activities. A lot for us.
Yeah, a lot of outdoor. Stuff.
Okay, so same answer for you then.
Yeah, with 3 young boys, a lot of family activities, a lot of camping, outdoors. Bike riding, a lot of, getting dirty stuff.
Okay. Sweet. Do you guys have any questions for me?
How does it feel riding the BMW?
Sexy.
It's
they say when you crack the throttle you just giggle, and we've all seen people when they do a test ride on YouTube and you just hit that throttle and you giggle. I did that for the first probably 2 or 3 months I was on that bike, and every once in a while I still do it because it's good on every terrain, it's good in every weather, it's good on long trips. It's hard to back out of the driveway sometimes, especially if it's dewy or stuff, but it's an awesome bike. And it's simple enough, again, for just about everything on it I can do myself. Do change oil, change tires, change brakes. Air filter was hard to get to, but it was easy to, it wasn't hard to take it off, it's just tedious because there's so many pieces to it. But when you're riding that bike, it's instant power. It is the fastest production motorcycle with bags ever. It's stupid fast. Wow. It's got 168 horsepower. I have had it to an incredibly ludicrous speed, and it's like that thing at 120 miles an hour feels like my Sportster at 50 miles an hour.
Wow.
It's not like it's even breathing hard, and I know it will go faster, but I don't.
Wow.
I'm comfortable with that. I don't want to get it any faster, but it's just because I mean, when the
Yeah.
solid line, when the dotted line goes solid, that you're good. You know you have done something you probably shouldn't have. Talk about stupid things, and you're like, I should probably not do that anymore. That's one of mine. I was on the way from, so I drove down. My dad lives down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I was on the way. I was taking a bunch of back roads, and between Greenville, Louisiana, or Greenville, Mississippi, and Alexandria, Louisiana, there's nothing but open 2-lane roads, and it's cornfield that's like a foot high. That's soybeans and cotton. Nothing on the road. Nothing going to run out in front of me. And I was like, I'm just open it up and see how fast I can go. And I got it up to 120, and the thing wasn't even breathing hard. I was still only doing probably about 4,000 RPM, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. It tops out at 72. It redlines at 86. It governs at 72, and I wasn't even near that. And I'm like, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Done.
Man, that's
So
that's intense.
How's it feel? Awesome. Very awesome.
I bet. I mean, it feels intense you just explaining that, so I can imagine.
When you twist the throttle, even when it's got rain mode, road mode, and dynamic mode. Even in rain mode, it just goes. It's just gone. And in road, you twist that throttle, and before you know it, I mean, I can do 70 miles an hour in first gear. It's just gone.
Holy crap.
Wow.
And one day, me and the wife, we were riding together, and we were going down to the winery. I think is where we were going. And I went to merge, and a Camaro tried to cut me off, and I hit the throttle, and I was just gone. And I asked my wife, plus it has a speed shifter, so I don't even have to use the clutch. You just hit the shifter, and it goes. And so I asked my wife, I said, how's it feel? She goes, how's what feel? And I said, to go 100. She goes, we're going 100? Feels pretty good. Feels pretty nice. And I'm like, it's crazy. It is too much for some people, because I see people all the time going, oh my God, when you get it to highway speeds, the wind buffeting is horrible. And it's not. That bike is just so thin and agile. It's like a road canoe. It just kind of carves its own stream. So when you're riding down the road and the wind gets kind of dirty, it just kind of cuts its own path. So you get this little, it's not a wobble even, it's just like a little thing. Anybody that's rode a long time knows what that is. If you haven't been riding a long time, it feels scary to you the first time. But the bike is a gyroscope. It will stand up by itself. And so like they always say, hang on to the bars just a little lightly and let the bike do what it wants to do. Because it's not going to fall over if you're at speed. It's gonna cut its own little path in the wind, because that's what it does. It's a very thin thing. It's knifing its way through the wind. And I've seen people go, oh my God, the bike is so unstable. It's not unstable. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's carving the least resistance and getting you there faster. If you fight it, that's when you start eating your tires up, you eat the brakes up, and you're going to throw yourself off the bike, because you're trying to fight what the bike naturally wants to do. Let it do its thing. Let it do what it wants to do. But yes, you want to ride it where at the camp out, I will let you, because it's such an awesome bike. It doesn't get away from you. It will not get away from you, because it has so many safety features on it. You can't spin the tires, you can't squeal the tires, you can't lock up.
My biggest thing is touching the ground. I'm not worried about clutch control and throttle. My biggest thing is not being able to touch the ground.
It is pretty high.
Honestly, I feel comfortable with clutch and throttle control. It's more so not dropping the bike.
We'll get you away from all the speed bumps around Forgotten Angels, and you'll be fine. So.
That would be crazy.
That would be really cool.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. Gma says she knows what I'm talking about. You get it up to about 100 miles an hour, and it just does this thing. It's just cutting its own little path, and it's just too nice.
Right.
Anyway, do you guys have anything else you want to tell the nice audience out there? Give us your Instagram handles, your YouTube. Definitely, Andrew, when you start working on your bike, do a video, put it on YouTube.
Okay. I'm definitely going to get her working on the 83 for sure, because that'll be like the first time she's been into something like that. So she's done a few things. You did the coils on it and stuff.
I did the coils, the plugs,
and the wires, and stuff like that. So.
But that's all just like easy, stuff. This time I'm actually.
Ask around. Ask around. It's not people are scared of that. So to do that is a huge confidence builder.
Yes.
Now we're going to be getting into like pulling the crankcase off and disassembling the brake lever and things. So this will be my first real mechanical experience.
Which is going to be awesome.
Gma says you can ride her bike when y'all are in Florida.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I would love to, for sure. I definitely want to ride a Grom as well, because those things are just so bad.
Gma, which bike are you taking? Are you bringing down there? She has like
As long as I
probably
can
not the
touch the-
Sportster. Is she taking the Shovelhead down there?
That would be wild.
I bet no. We'll see. Let's see if she answers. We're waiting, Gma. Hurry up. Come on.
Well, okay, so I'll throw my social media handles out there.
Okay.
I believe mine should be all the same across the board. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are all at Merleybird, and that's MERLEIGHBIRD.
And apparently my YouTube's just Andrew Rover, but I'm more, like I said, of a watcher. I do like the Facebook Lives and stuff because I'm not really tech savvy. I'm old school, if you can't tell by my vehicles.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that. So Gma says she is doing the Dyna Switchback. I love the Switchback. That's a very nice bike.
That'd be sweet.
That's crazy.
And it's
That
got a
would be
low
awesome.
seat. I wouldn't think Gma would be short. She seems bigger than life. I would think she'd be like 6 foot. So none of us have met. Well, some of us have met her, not the rest of us. So it'll be exciting to meet Gma when we get down to Florida.
I'm definitely going to go check out our YouTube page once we get done with this live, because I want to see some of these videos that you guys have been talking about.
She's got some nice bikes. So she's got a very old Sportster. I think it's a 70, 76, 77. And then she's got the Dyna, obviously. And then she has the Shovelhead. She probably has a bunch more. So, yeah. Red Wizard says he's got a Kawasaki 454. Funny enough, a Kawasaki 750 Limited nearly killed me when I was 19. So
Yeah.
that was my first introduction to my first Kawasaki. It tried to kill me. And I've been kind of shy of Kawasaki's ever since. Every time I've got on a Kawasaki, it has tried to kill me. It's a personal thing, I think. So, yeah. Talk about the one bike. Here it is. What bike will you not ride? Question for both of you.
That Honda 500, that freaking dirt bike that them guys did.
Oh, the CR500?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a little much for you to ride.
Honda CR500. Break your leg when you try to kickstart it.
From would I not ride? That's hard. Maybe like, I don't know. I'm pretty crazy. I'm down to ride anything.
I feel like an 1800, anything 1800 now. Not for a few years.
I mean, a Boss House would be cool. I mean,
yeah, the bike altogether is crazy. Go ahead.
It'd be interesting to ride. I mean, anything. I don't know if
I don't think he would say no to anything. He would try it at least once.
Yeah, but at least have to give it a try. I mean, I would respect certain bikes, obviously.
I want to ride that new Kawasaki HP2, the turbo charged one. But again, I think it would try to kill me. They don't call that bike the Widowmaker for nothing. If you don't know, so they made one in the 70s and early 80s, and it was called the Widowmaker because it killed the same bike, HP2. It killed so many people, they called it the Widowmaker. And now they come out with the new bike, but it has all the supercharged stuff on it, and it's a all new technology. And they're also calling that one the Widowmaker because I don't know how many people it's killed yet, but I mean it's just coming. I mean it's a stupidly fast motorcycle, and it gets to speed fast.
Yeah, like a drag bike. That would be a little odd. That's something I probably wouldn't ride. You know, something that goes that fast that quick. You know, and that's something I've never ridden before. So
yeah, that'd be
a drag bike. Probably something I wouldn't ride.
Here, I'll type my handle in Andrew's in the chat because it's different. And then if you do want to follow Andrew, I know but he don't post on Insta.
No, not as much. I'm not.
Matt, I want to ride your bike. So 9 Mills, he's got a V-Rod, and it is absolutely sick. And I keep saying I want to ride it, but then every time it's there. So he's on the move a lot. If you can catch his bike there, it's a miracle. But every time I do catch the bike and it's not moving, it's when I've already started drinking. So I'm like, I'm not going to get on someone else's bike when I've already been drinking. But
Right.
yes.
Right.
So yes, Matt. Everyone wants to ride your bike. Next time I will. I will stay sober until I see you. Well, let's take a breakfast ride or something. Um, I think Matt actually gets up early and like makes breakfast. So when I get to the camp out, I probably won't get up before 8. Probably not, because it's just I'm usually up till 2 or 3 the morning before or the night before, and it's just I can't get up that early.
Yeah.
But yes, I want to though. We definitely want to. Anyway. All right, we are going to. Looks like the YouTube is starting to freeze up. Let's go ahead and close it out.
We lost a little bit.
Oh yes, it's freezing up.
It's starting to freeze up. Are we back yet?
Moderately, a little bit.
Okay. It looks like I'm speed talking on YouTube, so it must have just caught up. All right, let's go ahead and close it out. You guys got go ahead and put your Instagram and stuff into the comments on the video too. That way people can go back and look at it. The live chat will be available in 24 hours. So if you want to go back and read through, if you miss any of it, you can watch it all again and read through all the chat. But if you haven't, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Come back next weekend. We're going to have probably another live stream. I think I'm going to have a couple of, we're freezing up again. Let's go ahead and get out of here because we've already, I think I'm going over my limit on stream time. So thanks for coming, guys. Hang out. I'll be right back with you in a second.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye, guys.